News, Abuja.
No.
Joining us now is Dr. Max Abrahms, a terrorism expert and professor at Northeastern University in Boston. Dr. Abrahms, do Boko Haram's, any of them, the previous actions, give any indication to you about how this case may be resolved or reach a conclusion?
I mean, yeah, that's a very good question, because the international media is paying a ton of attention to Boko Haram right now. But I mean, with the abduction of these young schoolgirls about a month ago, that's not when Boko Haram violence started. You know, this group has been going on like this, killing thousands of people, thousands of innocent civilians over the past few years. Boko Haram is actually the second most lethal terrorist group in the entire world. And so my prediction would be more of the same, which is more indiscriminate violence against civilians, particularly in the northern part of the country.
Is the northern part of the country practically a no-go area for the Nigerian military?
Well, it's very unfortunate because, as implied in your question, you understand that there are real divisions between the Muslim majority north and the Christian majority south. And the president of the country is Christian, and he used to be governor of a southern region in the country. And so there seems to be a lack of will on the part of the Nigerian leadership, as well as the military, to really go after Boko Haram in the north, especially in that forest area where we suspect that the schoolgirls, the kidnapped schoolgirls, might be located.
Are you surprised at all that there's been no statement from al-Qaeda's central leadership? Boko Haram professes allegiance to al-Qaeda, and in the past, al-Qaeda has spoken out against certain actions which it believes would remove popular support from its movements in other parts of the world. Ayman al-Zawahiri hasn't said anything. Would he possibly be expected to?
Well, I think that, again, as implied in your question, you're absolutely right. There's a real difference between al-Qaeda Central and the al-Qaeda affiliates. In general, al-Qaeda Central tends to be more moderate, particularly in its target selection. Al-Qaeda Central has come to the realization that, just blowing up civilians, particularly Muslim civilians, is a political liability. The affiliates are often more radical, particularly ISIS in Syria. And you're right, al-Qaeda Central rebuked that affiliate for essentially being too fanatical. And yes, I wouldn't be at all surprised if we hear from al-Qaeda Central that Boko Haram has also sort of overstepped the realm of acceptable. So yes, I do believe that al-Qaeda Central is more moderate than Boko Haram. Boko Haram looks a lot like ISIS in Syria and the Taliban in Afghanistan.
Just very briefly, Dr. Abrahms, do you think the Nigerian government on its own is going to defeat Boko Haram?
I think that it really is possible. Boko Haram is causing a huge amount of violence, but it really doesn't have a massive membership. It only has hundreds of members, and it seems like it actually has more because when it conducts a raid, it uses a large percentage of its total membership. But, Nigeria has actually a lot of money, and it has a large military. It just needs to be used effectively, and hopefully with U.S. and British assistance, they'll begin to back some of the gains made by Boko Haram.
Dr. Max Abrahms, we very much appreciate your contribution. Thank you, sir.
Anytime.